Yo, what's up, y'all? It's your boy, Oaghaji, aka Oaghaji, back with another video. And today I'm back with another installment of Oaghaji recommendations. And today I'm going to recommend the 1980s Seinen martial arts manga Us Karate Bu. Yes, I'm definitely recommending this particular manga. Um, the story revolves around a high school karate club in Osaka, especially with the character Tagagi Yoshiyuki. You know what I'm saying? It started out as this light-hearted, martial arts comedy delinquent manga series, and then it became that, and it started out as that, but then later on in the series, it becomes a much more serious, delinquent martial arts manga. You know what I'm saying? With a lot of chi slash ki blasts and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? The character, the original main character was Masushita. Yeah, I think that's the name. Hopefully, I'm right on that. But then, and Tagagi was basically like the supporting character. But then later on, it becomes more, Tagaki became the main character of the series, and the story revolves around him, and him dealing with a lot of other, martial artists, other delinquents, trying to be, the protector around, Osaka with his fellow, karate club members as well as his fellow delinquent folks. You know what I'm saying? Both the Bancho and hell, maybe even Suke. And hell, there's even Sukebon in this as well. Um, I wish I can say more, but I don't want to spoil this particular manga series. You know what I'm saying? Now, this particular manga also had a 4 episode OVA anime adaptation, and then it had a live action film adaptation as well. You know what I'm saying? As well as a fighting game for the Super Famicom, which is the original Japanese version of the Super Nintendo. For those of y'all that don't know. Yeah, I've definitely liked this manga. My first exposure was a video by Drunken Master 226 with his, which is and that video and this video talks about the fighting game that's based on Os Karate Bu with the title Os Karate Bu, and it's developed by Culture Brain, the creators of the Hideo no Ken series, aka Fist of the Flying Dragon. And the first game in that particular series is Hokuha Shoden Hideo no Ken, aka Shanghai Kid, back in 1985, and that was a fighting game for the arcades. And that game predates Street Fighter for 2 years. It came out around the same time as ER Kung Fu by Konami, and Karate Champ came out in 1984, and Heavyweight Champ, which is basically the first arcade fighting game that came around the late 1970s. But anyway, back to Os Karate Bu. My first exposure to this was again the fight. Drunken Master 226. He made a fighting jam episode. He made an episode of his fighting gem series where he talks about a lot of the a lot of fighting games when it comes to their gameplay mechanics and how those gameplay mechanics became innovative, throughout the years in the fighting game genre. And that particular video, it was like I think episode 2, I believe. I could be wrong. Yeah, I think that's episode 2 or 3, where he talked about Os Karate Bu. And then later on, I watched the 4 episode OVA adaptation. You know what I'm saying, which I enjoyed. You know what I'm saying. And then I decided to read the original, the manga, and I'm definitely loving it so far. You know what I'm saying. And I'm definitely going to get back into reading it because there's a lot of manga that I'm reading, like this 1990s delinquent martial arts manga Double Hard. There's also that fishing manga, Tsuruiki. Sanpei or Fisher Boy Sanpei or Fisherman Sanpei. There's also Jungle King Tarchan and Harimanada, and there's there's a lot that I'm reading. But anyway, what I really like most about the manga is like it starts off for being this, like I said, this lighthearted, delinquent martial arts action comedy to this more serious martial arts manga, which is cool. You know what I'm saying? I definitely like that. Just like how with Kiniko Man started out as a lighthearted superhero parody of Ultraman and then became a much more serious, like superhero wrestling battle tournament manga. And with and how Jungle King Tarchan started off for being like this parody and homage to Tarzan to be a much more serious battle manga. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. And this is a seinen, by the way. Not Jungle King Tarchan, but Os Karate Bu. Yeah, and another thing I like is definitely the fights in this manga. They're drawn very, very well. And the art style is pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? Especially because I definitely am a sucker for a lot of these old school martial arts manga. Especially from the '80s and '90s. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, basically, yeah, Os Karate Bu is definitely a manga that I definitely recommend. It's one of the most dopest, seinen martial arts manga, that I'm reading so far, along with Coco Tekken and Tough and a sequel Tough, and Rikio and all those other series. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's all I gotta say about that for right now. So hopefully y'all enjoy this installment of Oaghaji recommendations. Stay tuned for more. If y'all like this video, you can like it, share all this good stuff, and you can also stay tuned for more videos on the way and all that good stuff. So yeah, with all that being said, this is your boy Ogetchi Gaji, aka Oagaji, signing out. Peace.